Kenny Green, raw perspective, concrete and steel, keeping it good and raw, unity for the community always. I'm up in Harlem on 125th Street, and I thought about something. I had saw a post and read an article about Dame Dash and what his troubles are, what he's going through, the tax trouble. Now they want him to sell his film studio. I think it's called New America, right? And you know, I'm just curious, and I'm wondering because I don't know him personally, but I know he was very instrumental in the culture. Rappers even said, man, he fought to get us better deals. He did this, he did this. But Dame is broke. Why isn't anyone stepping up? All over we hear Dame Dash, you know, he was a first of a lot of things, man. You know, from that whole, the Rockefeller, the streaming platforms. And I do see some faults in the way he handles things. But I think sometimes coming up how I coming up, like, you know, family and you gripping people, it's not always good to let somebody that might be renowned in your culture or assist and help people in the culture to slide down the abyss of nothing, you know what I mean? Because it shows that we might not always take care of our own. And that's something that's not good for us to have that kind of reputation about people that may have played an integral part. I'm not excusing the arrogance, the behavior, and even some of the foolishness. But it is what it is. Is he those things? Yes. Did his arrogance put him in a bad position in place? Indeed. Character and integrity is important. And truth be told, this may be why Dame Dash can't get no help, because we all know his character, like most of our characters have flaws, but when you're doing business and you have expectations of people and people have expectations of you, and you never live up to them, or you don't want to play fair, or you need to be, you think the loudest voice in the room is going to be the smartest voice or the best voice in the room, is a technique that continue to be used is going to land you in some difficult situations. So I don't know the whole Dame Dash story, why people won't help him, or even if he asks for help, maybe he's too proud. But when we see somebody falling that we feel is instrumental to the culture, help some people get to certain points, should we be trying to rally and say, hey man, this is how we get down when one of ours, you know, is getting brutalized, you know, with lawsuits or whatever. And make no mistake about it, the lawsuits are his own doing. They're his own doing, whether it's arrogance, ignorance, overplaying his hand. Is he getting a lesson now? We know he's dealing with some health issues, and sometimes it's just not good to let one of the people that was instrumental in growing the culture fall down in front of everybody and we laugh or we don't help. And I understand sometime along the way he might have slighted some people. There's some people where they might feel they wasn't dealt right. But I'm talking to you guys because I don't know. And I wanted to ask for comments and different things to see what you guys' feelings of Dame Dash, and should he be getting help or should he be left to be dragged by the courts and the different agencies that's now coming at him. When we talk about the money that Dame owes, 10, 15 million, to the average Joe like us, it's a lot of money. But to some of the people that he's in the circles with, that's, you know, worth 50 million, 80 million, 200 something million, 400 million, it's not a lot of money that you can use to free up a friend. You know, but me and a homie of mine, Bill, was talking, right? And like 50 said, yo, Dame, pick yourself up. there's lessons in all of this. How we treat each other lets people know outside how to treat us. Dig what I'm saying? So if we just drag one of our so-called people that did some great things and we let them fall through the cracks, or we just say, man, fuck him, whatever, whatever, what does that say about how we deal with each other? Of course, when you do things, you gotta pay. You gotta pay the price of your choices and everything like that. I'm just asking to understand, that's it. You know, a lot of times I run into some of my homies and, you know, we have to evolve. And maybe that's what happened with Dame. He didn't evolve into the next thing, because some of the things that get us the bread won't keep us having the bread. So we evolve into the next thing. So like I tell some of my homies sometimes, yo, you got to learn to be a baby in a new game. But sometimes when we've been bosses in our life, it's hard to, I won't even use the word humble, but it's hard to conform to something else. But really, it's really called survival. We have to change, evolve to survive, concrete and steel.